Hello and welcome. Keep your hand in your skirt. My name is Sabrina. I am your host, Keep Your Hand in Your Skirt podcast. And today I have a guest visitor. Does anyone recognize this? If you're watching on YouTube, maybe this will look familiar. What I'm holding in my hands, for those of you who cannot see it, is I am holding a little hybrid child in my hand. It's actually a sculpture that was made by Cynthia Crawford. Cynthia Crawford she's not in the physical anymore, but she created many star friend sculptures. They're sculptures, right? 3D, you can touch them, you can feel them, you can look at them. They are different sculptures of different frequencies, different consciousnesses. Her specialty is communicating with different consciousnesses that are off planet, consciousnesses of civilizations or energies that are not on planet Earth. And then she would channel that frequency, that energy into a sculpture, and then she sold the sculptures. So this is way back in 2011 when I found her, and I went crazy buying the sculptures. And the reason I wanted to talk about that today is because today's topic is about permission slips. Permission slips. And Bashar teaches us a permission slip, right? It's just an opportunity to allow ourselves to step into something that we're interested in, something that maybe it's your highest excitement, maybe something you're curious about. So to intentionally know and use permission slips, it elevates your consciousness. It can. It's an opportunity to elevate your consciousness, or it's an opportunity to experience something new or unfamiliar, or just to anchor something else in. Maybe you're really wanting to ground something in, and then you create a permission slip. So at the time, I didn't know why my heart wanted these star friends, wanted these sculptures created by Crystal Crawford, but I had to have them. And I'm like so sensitive. So when I would look at her shop of all the different ones you could purchase, like I wanted this one and this one and this one and this one. And then because I'm just so tenderhearted, I was afraid to buy one before I bought the other ones because I didn't want anyone to feel left out. Like, I know that sounds so silly, and especially as I'm telling you, but in my heart, like, I had to wait till I had enough money that I could purchase all the ones that were talking to me, that were making my heart sing. And so when I called to place the order, she's like, I've never heard of anyone ordering so many at the same time. And I'm like, well, sorry. I don't want anyone to feel left out, right? But I just valued these sculptures. They opened me up. I had so many different experiences and stories with them, and they served a purpose. They were a permission slip, which I now understand that they were a permission slip. And so, do you need something tangible to touch to elevate your consciousness, or to awaken spiritually, or to ascend spiritually? No, of course not. However, many of us, because when you are elevating or ascending or expanding your consciousness, it's new, it's unknown. So we're used to 3D, right? We're used to physical touch. We're used to something we can hold on. So many of us like the stones, because the stones, we can touch them. We can have a connection with them. And so often we use these material objects to allow us to have the freedom, maybe the safety, maybe the faith that these inanimate objects are going to support and assist us to elevate or to raise our vibration. Same thing, we use geography. In the beginning, in 2010, when I had my multidimensional awakening, like I instantly knew I had to go to Mount Shasta. right? Like, oh my gosh, I have to go to Mount Shasta. Like, Mount Shasta's calling me. And I do believe geography co-creates with us. I do believe we are summoned by different places in nature, because the energy exchange that we have when we go to those places, it does open keys and codes. It does unlock dormant vibrations or dormant frequencies inside of us. So yes, it really does happen. However, is it required? No. So I went to Mount Shasta and I had an experience, not the experience I was expecting to have. And I came home, and my biggest takeaway about going to Mount Shasta was to realize I never needed to go to Mount Shasta, which was really important for me to learn, because I needed to understand that all of the awakening, all of the processes are inside. So I don't need to hold on to a sculpture. I don't need to go to a certain mountain. It's not required that I touch a certain stone or a certain crystal or have a certain animal. Like those things are great. They're beautiful. They're permission slips. They're phenomenal experiences. They definitely are co-creators with us, but they're not required. Our sovereignty, our multidimensional abilities, our everything we require is inside of us. So sometimes people feel like, oh, well, like I want to, like they're hungry for their ascension, they're hungry for their spiritual awakening, and they feel like, well, I need to go to this place to do this process in order to awaken, or I need to try this plant medicine in order to awaken, or I need to buy a beautiful sculpture in order to awaken, or to have a certain crystal in order to awaken. And I understand that, because I personally, that was my journey. That's what I felt was the truth too. And it's no judgment in that. I'm just offering the idea that if you're not able to go to those places, if maybe you don't have the dollars to purchase all of the things you're wanting to purchase, your evolution is not dependent on those variables, those conditions, right? Your power is within, and you have the right to claim, to accelerate, to demand your multidimensional awakening, and you have that right. And if you like to use the permission slips to help support you, like, that's beautiful. I use them. I still get called to go places. I still get called like, oh, this crystal wants to come live at my house. Like, I still play with them, but I'm aware I'm playing with them from choice. I'm not co-creating with them because I've valued or deemed these outside variables as crucial for my awakening. Does that make sense? So it is great to co-create. It's great to play. It's great to expand, but nothing is required. So now I have the knowing, oh, well, I choose to have this. Or maybe it's a belief. I love astrology, right? I had the most amazing astrology reading. I got to make a video about that. It was so good. And she's telling me different things about, the placements with the sun and the stars and the planets and the houses. And do I turn my authority? Do I turn my power over to what the houses say or what the planets are saying? No. I am also aware that if she tells me something that I like, something that gives me hope, or something that makes me feel good, I am aware that I can choose to buy into what she shared and use it as a permission slip for my own vibrational set point, for my own state of being. So I can feel it assists me and supports me. But I don't, just because something is supposed to happen with something in the stars, okay, that's a piece of information, but is that are we turning our sovereignty over to what a planet or a house is doing? It's your choice. You get to do whatever you want. But for me, I recognize that I can use permission slips. I can use the support of geography, of stones, of animals, of color codes, of sounds. Like, I love all that to awaken and unlock keys and codes and to, awaken my multidimensional abilities. But I always function at this now moment. I function from knowing sovereignties within. Multidimensional abilities are my birthright. Those things are fun to play with, but they're not required. So I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted to share my little hybrid child with you. Hopefully you are enjoying this, and I look forward to visiting with you the next time.